Hi everybody, Ron Placone here, and I kind of have a special message today, or this is maybe a little different than what I typically do. On my morning show this morning, we did not get to net neutrality. It was in the queue, it was something we wanted to talk about, but we didn't get to it. You know, sometimes the 2 hours comes and you don't get to everything you wanted to get to, but that's okay because this is kind of more applicable for the internet anyway, because it's net neutrality. Today is the deadline to submit comments to the FCC. If you go to fcc.gov, there's a special inbox that they have right on the front page to submit comments in regards to net neutrality, in regards to the open internet. Today is the deadline. I do highly encourage you to let your voice be heard. I just submitted an email myself to Tom Wheeler and the FCC encouraging them to reinstate net neutrality rules and to designate ISPs as common carriers. So just kind of a quick revisit to the issue and why this is so important. I do consider this to be one of the most significant media policy issues in my adult life so far. I mean, I think in a lot of ways it's similar to the Telecommunications Act of 1996. I was way too young to know anything what that was or what that was doing, but I certainly felt the effects of it. So here's why net neutrality is such a significant issue to me, and I think to a lot of people. First of all, what net neutrality basically does, net neutrality preserves a free and open internet. It just preserves that all internet access is just equal, any website is equal, and it's just access to the internet. It is just what it is. When the Supreme Court ruled that ISPs could not be regulated by the FCC because they're not common carriers, well, what that did was that pretty much scratched out net neutrality, which means that there's now fast lanes, or there can be fast lanes and slow lanes, which is something the FCC has talked about designating, where you can pay higher prices to have better access to your content. So someone like a Netflix or something like that could pay more to have better access to their content. But by creating these quote-unquote fast and slow lanes in the internet, you're setting up a few pretty disturbing trends here, and it affects a lot of different people. In fact, it pretty much affects everybody except for the few corporate elite that are going to make money off of this. First of all, it affects content creators, and it affects independent media. You know, if these big corporate media companies and big, large companies are able to pay money to have better speeds, you know, their content's going to be way more accessible, whereas someone else that doesn't have those types of resources, their information will load slower. And that's in regards to media, and in regards to independent media and alternative media. One of the reasons that our media structure is changed and evolving is because of the internet, because more people are going to the internet, and even though it's not perfect by any means, it is at least an equal playing field in regards to the ability to publish. You can put your stuff out there on YouTube or wherever else, and it's going to load. So something like that would really hurt content creators, but it's not just content creators that should be into this or affected by this or feel that this is an important issue. It should also be any consumer that uses the internet. Because another thing that's going to happen, let's say the fast lanes and slow lanes go forth, and someone like a Netflix or a Hulu or whatever else, that they have to pay more for better access or better loading time and stuff like that. They're going to put that bill on consumers. I mean, they've already said that. I mean, I'm pretty sure Netflix has already come out and said, like, they're going to see a rise in price. Consumers will be footed with the bill. And we already live in a country, in the United States, because of pretty much the duopoly we have set up, we pay more and get less than a lot of other industrialized nations when it comes to internet access. Comcast, Time Warner, these companies, they price gouge. Your bill will just go up for no reason. And in terms of customer service, they do not care. And that's already happening. By eliminating net neutrality, well, these companies can go even further, and the internet can look a lot like cable television 2.0, where it could cost more to go to a certain website, it could cost more to get certain load speeds and stuff like that. The FCC has said that, oh, well, we'll not allow that to happen. It'll just be fast lanes and slow lanes for the big companies so that their videos will load faster, something like a Netflix, but we won't let anything like that happen. I don't know about you, but just kind of lip service isn't enough for me. I think there needs to be some policy. I don't feel, oh, well, they said they won't let it happen, so they won't. Because, Tom Wheeler and Barack Obama, even himself, promised to protect a free and open internet and net neutrality, and well, look what happened there. So I don't know about you, but just a kind of promise from the FCC isn't enough for me. I need a little more than that. I need some policy saying that something like this cannot take place, that this is prohibited. Because, I mean, keep in mind, think about cable television. At one point in time, television was going to be a common carrier. It no longer is, and that's fine. I don't think television should be necessarily, but look what happened with cable television. I mean, people that say, oh, well, net neutrality is not necessary because the market will regulate itself, and one internet provider, they'll just provide the best service, and they'll provide equal speeds, and everyone will just go there. Well, I mean, that's like, is there a cable television company out there that offers all the channels for one set reasonable price and says, well, we're going to do this? Because no, they don't. Because these companies are very large and very powerful, and they're there to make a profit. They're there to make money. That's what they do. So, of course, something like that's not going to happen. I mean, already these large cable companies meet in return in regards to territory and stuff like that. Do you really think that someone's going to, oh, we're just going to have free and open internet and the speed's going to be great? That's not going to happen. And this really does open the floodgate for the internet to look a lot like cable television 2.0. And we can do better. I mean, you just look at Chattanooga where they have municipal internet and stuff like that. So this is a very serious issue, and I think this is a huge issue in regards to media democracy, in regards to internet access, something that we're still struggling with in this country. And if we lose net neutrality, that's just another huge step backwards. I mean, technically we already lost it, but we can get it back. And to lose it permanently, to allow the fast lanes and slow lanes to be instated by the FCC, we're taking a few very dangerous steps. So I encourage you to let your voice be heard. I encourage you to leave your comments below. I know not everyone agrees with my take on the whole thing, and that's fine. But I do encourage you, if net neutrality is something you feel strongly about, please write the FCC today. Let them know. A lot of people, they've had to open a separate inbox for this. And, I mean, it's one of those things that public outcry is enough, and there's been a lot of coverage on this stuff. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to serve the people and not serve corporate interests. But if we're apathetic towards it, if we make it out like it's not that big of a deal, well, then I think we could look back on this and really see this as a time where we let the internet go. Just like people look back on the Telecommunications Act of 1996, something that was greeted with apathy, that allowed a few elite groups of corporations to monopolize and completely overtake radio. So I think let's not let history repeat itself. I strongly encourage you, write the FCC today, because, again, if the public outcry is loud enough, they're going to have to. They're going to have to do something. They can't just bow to the corporate interests here, because really, at the end of the day, with the loss of net neutrality, those are the only people that are winning. The ISPs, the Comcasts of the world, the ones that are already price gouging people, they're the ones that are going to win here, and they're going to price gouge even more. So, yeah, just wanted to do a special message on net neutrality because today is the deadline. I encourage you to act. Thanks for tuning in. This is Ron Placone signing out.